Come with me. Come with me to discover the secrets of how thoughts become things, and we will manifest like never before. Come with me, and we'll discover a secret so powerful that will take you far beyond your dreams. Come with me on an unforgettable journey. Come with me. It's already yours. Get ready for this adventure, and I'm thankful for today that you found us, so get ready. The time is now. I'm Zelda Kelly. Welcome to Secrets Laws of Attraction. Hello everyone, and welcome. Welcome back to this episode of Secrets Laws of Attraction. I'm your host Zelda Kelly, and I have an exciting episode for you today. Now, we're almost finished with learning what the foundation of the laws of attraction has to offer, or what it entails, or the details, the foundational principles that it would be nice for all of us to know, instead of just throwing you out there and saying, just do it, right? So after this episode, then we're going to start falling into some exercises, some things that you can do to help make your manifestations come forward as quickly as the universe allows. But before we get started, I just want you to know that today is December 2nd, 2021, and it's a beautiful day. And my kitties are playful and happy and meowing. So if you hear one or two of them meowing and playing, you know that that's confirmation of the universe that meowing is more for humans. So back to our episode today, which I believe it's really important to understand the frequency of frequency. Now, come on now. Stay with me. Get your pencils, get your paper. It's time to learn. And I know it's a play on words. So it's the frequency of frequency. Okay, so what is that? Well, let's back up and recap a little bit of our previous episodes, all right? We learned the reticular activating system is located at the base of our skull, and that's what we are born with, right? That's our little filter. We have also learned that that's where we set our intentions. It's the intention switch. We turn that switch on, and some of you can physically feel it. Some of you will get to that point. Some of you don't even have to feel it. You'll know, and it is just a knowing, right? So then we learn that the heart is a mirror to miracles. We learn that the heart has a memory. We then learn also that we each have the potential of a magnificent, that's right, magnificent obsession. And then we learn the importance of gratitude and thanksgiving. And with that, I just want you to know that Henry David Thoreau, he's very famous for his quotes, basically says that, and I quote him, "I am grateful for what I am and have. My thanksgiving is perpetual." I think that's really important. That's Henry David Thoreau. I love his quotes. You may hear me talk about him a lot. It's called Common Sense. But we put ourselves in a position of thanksgiving and of gratefulness, and then our attitudes change, our cells change in our body, and it can even change our DNA. You've always heard that laughter scares the devil away. Well, that is absolutely true, because what better time to make you feel more miserable than to make you feel more miserable And that usually happens. Remember, misery loves company. So when you're feeling miserable, you're going to have another little miserable thought, situation, circumstance show up to keep the original misery company. We don't want that. And being thankful and grateful helps us. It helps us to clear our subconscious. It helps us to clear our minds and our hearts and our bodies. That's right. Our minds and our heart, because our heart has a memory. And we have separate neurons in our heart that creates the memory in our heart versus a memory in our brain. But you can go back and review those episodes, and I encourage you to do that frequently, right? The frequency of frequency. Now, what is frequency? You've heard me talking in the laws of attraction, getting on the same frequency as this, or you dial someone's telephone number, and that is their frequency. And when you get in alignment with the frequency, as Albert Einstein says, it's not philosophy, is physics. You will attain what you are searching for, asking for, knowing, and thanking for. Remember, we can thank things about, just like we think things about. And our thoughts are not the facts. But a lot of times we rely on our thoughts because our imagination comes into play. So let's talk about that for a minute, okay? I just want you to close your eyes. Think of this thought. When you are in a certain position where you're thinking a lot, trying to analyze a circumstance or something in your life, even maybe a loved one or a partner, a mate, a spouse, a potential boyfriend, girlfriend, we have these thoughts. And what do thoughts do? Well, thoughts transcend into a movie in your mind. Now think about this. When have you had a blank thought where you just think of something and it flashes in and it flashes out? Well, let me tell you something, my loves. We have approximately 80,000 thoughts per day. That's right, 80,000 thoughts. Some of those are blank, that, it's just almost involuntary. Okay, I'm going to look at the light switch. I'm going to go over and turn on the light switch. I'm going to open the drawer, tie a shoe, pet the kitty. But at the same time, when we tend to think and dwell, we have a frequent thought. We dwell on the frequency that we are trying to emit. And sometimes we don't even realize. Until I met with this, I'm going to say, way of life, laws of attraction, and I understood how important it certainly is, and how important it is for my kitty to jump on the windowsill that you just heard, but how important it is for your thoughts to come forward and make sure that you're not thinking them as facts. How important it is to control the negative thoughts. How many times do we drive down the road and we're thinking. Someone pulls out in front of us, and because we're in a bad mood thinking, what do we do to that driver? He may have not even seen us. He pulls out. We lay on the horn. We give him hand gestures. We mouth off to him. And what really purpose does that have? Did that make his day? No. Did it make yours? No, not really. But I'm going to give you an idea now that we're talking about driving of something that many of us do. How many of us, I think those drivers. We're most all guilty of this. Anyway, in my generation, I can't speak for anyone. How many times are we listening to music in our car? We're singing, the music is loud, and then we're looking for a particular address. And as we get closer, and we know that we're getting closer, what do? We turn down the radio so we can see better. Now, that's kind of funny. Many of us do that. You turn down the road, yeah. You turn down the radio so you can see the road. How many times have we done that? I do that very often. But here's the answer to why you do that. Your subconscious mind is taking over so you are not distracted. Isn't that amazing? And it certainly makes a lot of sense. Your subconscious mind takes over so you're not distracted and you don't miss your turn. Because what happens? We're bebopping down the road, we're listening to music, and sometimes we're on the phone and we have an earpiece in, because most of us now can't talk on the phone and hold the phone up to our ear, and I don't like that anyway, but I try not to talk while I'm driving. I hope you do too. But anyway, getting back on track, we're bebopping down the road. We might be talking on the phone. We may be talking to another passenger. And what do? Oh, nuts. I lost my turn. I missed the turn, or the on-ramp or on-ramp or the off-ramp by listening to rap. That's right. And then you have to turn all around again. And it's basically your mind telling you, slow down. Slow down, start thinking. Here, I'm going to help you. I'm going to give you this involuntary act of turning down the radio so you don't become distracted. You know what's so wonderful about things? Is that your subconscious mind does that for you in many other circumstances daily for you, and you don't even recognize it. It's time to recognize the unrecognizable. But getting back to the frequency of frequency, you see, your radio frequency interrupts your thought frequency, and your subconscious mind takes in and takes over. Whoa, boy, that's deep. How powerful the mind is. And let me just say this. You know me, here we go. Hang on, a little side trip. At one time, MIT published their findings on the human brain. And they said that if they had to build the capacity of the human brain, it would be the size of Texas and 4 stories high. So each one of you have that capacity. How much of that capacity are you using, or are you putting to use? How many times do we just get up and we go through our day? We're bored. We do our chores. We don't look for anything. We don't contact source. We don't pray. We're not thankful. And what do? The days drag on. And you wait for what? Well, bad news to come, because you know it always does. Right? That's the attitude. But now the frequency of frequency. So we're getting back on track now, so we're not distracted. So we've talked many times about frequency of the mind. Now, what is your frequency? What is that? Getting in alignment. What is a frequency? Well, a frequency is your positive thought process, or your negative thought process. What is a thought process? Well, the thought process is this. You have a particular thought, and then that thought grows. And then there's another layer. Well, what if this? Well, what if I do this? Then this person is going to do this. And what if I do that? Then this person may do that or this, but I will be prepared. No, you're just wasting good conscious mind. your good thoughts. You're just wasting that, because I want you to know that 99% of the time, nothing really happens the way we originally believe that it happens. I mean, the circumstance may happen, of course, but how the person got there or how we got there usually doesn't. It's usually through a winding road of turns, of misturns, of keeping focus, keeping forward, driving through the storm, driving through the rain, and then all of a sudden the rain is gone, the storm is gone, and the road is straight. I love those times when you know you've arrived. But I want you to know this. When you're dealing with the laws of attraction, your journeys may never end. And that's a good thing. Because once you arrive at your destination, by the time you arrive, you have another destination planned. So that may just be step one of your goal. It may just be a particular situation that you have arrived. And you can celebrate. And it causes for congratulations and celebration. But you just keep going. Because now you know how it feels. And we're going to get into that one in the next episode. How it feels, the knowing. But your frequency of the frequency. So how many times now, and we're going to break this down. I have people call me and say, Zelda, I'm thinking of this person all the time. I can't get him off my mind. He's in my heart. I can't stop. Yes, you can. No, I can't. Well, there comes a time when it becomes more than you can't. It becomes a habit. And what do you do with a bad habit? You've got to work through it and get rid of the bad habit. That doesn't mean that you can't have a thought about someone. But that means that you have to now start putting yourself first. You see, when you get so consumed with someone, and I'm going to use someone or even a circumstance, that you get so consumed with that you're putting your own well-being, your own happiness in someone else's or into a circumstance or situation's hands, then you're not firing on all cylinders as far as laws of attraction. You may think you are, but you're not. And your life is regulated by, oh, they text me today, happy days. And you're happy for the whole day. And now all of a sudden, we women, we have a tendency, we get the text from the guy, and the next thing you know, by the afternoon, we're looking at wedding dresses. And that happens to many. And then you wonder why the men run. And men, you have a thought process similar like that. But you don't think of the wedding. You think more of the honeymoon. So what you have to do is you have to control that. And every time, if you're dealing with that overwhelming, overbearing thought process that seems like it's uncontrollable, you better step in and can take control. You need to step in and you need to turn the volume down on that particular commercial message that comes into you constantly. You better turn that focus and that thought back to you, because if not, you're going to be miserable. Why? Because you're going to want this so bad and you're so focused so bad and you can't turn your thoughts off that now you start turning in that direction, and now you want to manipulate and make something happen so it makes you feel better. And it is a never-ending road. And what happens is you turn someone off, or you lose an opportunity, or you lose a situation or a circumstance. And that's not good, my friends. Not at all. Sadly, We don't understand that it's not a bad thing to not think and be overwhelmed by those thoughts. We think that, oh yes, that's just it. That's how I'm made. That's how I roll. Well, my darling, you weren't made for that. You are here because you are purposefully and wonderfully made. And God has a universal plan for you. And that's why you've got to get in focus. Because if that situation, circumstance, or relationship is meant to be, it is going to come in because you have already set your intention for it. If it is in His will that it is good for you, then that person, situation, circumstance will work out for you. Or it will come to you and you will be in enough control that you can say, is this good for me? Is this something that I want? Will this benefit me? And will this bring value to my life as well as the other person, situation, and circumstance? It's a mature way of looking at things and keeping yourself out of a lot of hot water. And I can tell you, you can get into hot water. So I'm saying this, the frequency of frequency, good or bad. All right, so now you've set your intention, and now you're focusing on what it is that you want. Whatever that is, whatever it is, we're going to be talking about the thought process and the frequency. So you've opened up the catalog to the universe, and you've strolled through there because I'll tell you, everything that you want has already been created and it's already here. How do I know that? Because if it hasn't been created, it hasn't shown up yet in your thought process. Certainly, people in the 1800s were not wishing and hoping for an iPhone 13. That's common sense. Why? Well, because it hadn't been invented yet. So they weren't capable of thinking about that. Now, think about that. But let's get back to this. All right, so Zelda, once we set our intention, how do we think about this without thinking about this all the time? How frequent do we send out our frequencies? How frequently will that frequency be emitted, submitted, and sent to whatever it is that we're focusing on? Well, here's what you have to do. First of all, you have to be an actor or an actress. You have to use your imagination. And that's right, that's that little movie in your mind. And you have to know through thanksgiving and gratefulness that it is already here. You're already received it, and you're in a place now where all it has to do is just show up. But here's where you have to draw the line. When you set your intention and you know that there's a focus on it, we have a tendency to daily say, well, what about this? What about this? But yesterday you said this. Well, what has changed today? Don't forget there is free will involved with other people. Don't forget that there are circumstances by other people that can step into a certain circumstance or a situation. If you've been waiting for a long time on something to come in, be it a relationship, a job opportunity, a move, money, whatever the case may be, if you've been waiting for a long time, then that tells me that there are other people involved, and God is using His noun factor, which is people, places, and things. He's moving things around because it ain't all about you sometimes. And that's what we have to be patient and understand. Because many times when things come in, we're not ready. And we talked about that too. So when you're frequently sending your thought frequencies out, you have to be in a place where you draw the line, and you have to now just know. How do you do that? There was an old commercial, and I know that when I say this, you're going to know who it is. And I think this man just passed away, so may he be blessed. Remember, set it and forget it. There you go. I'm going to say it again. Set it and forget it. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to be forgetting it, and then when something pops up, you're going to say, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that was going to happen. I forgot all about it. No, that means that you're not going to dwell on it. Because there's a difference between setting an intention and having a thought and having focus and dwelling on something. Okay, so now I'm doing this and this, and okay, now I'm saying this and this, and I've set my intention. Okay, Zelda, so this is what I want. I picked out my circumstance and my person in the catalog, and this is what I want. So now I'm going to stalk that person. Now I'm going to look all over social media, which to me has ruined probably more relationships than not. Okay, I'm going to go outside and sit by this person's house because I set that intention, and maybe if they just see me, they'll know, because I know that I'm going to marry them. Now, come on now. We're not going to get ridiculous about it. But what you do is you have your little list. Okay, so some of you may have heard of a vision board. I personally keep journals and lists, and daily, before you go to bed at night, you go through your list, pen and paper in hand, and you can mark through some of the things that you've decided that may have changed. And it's okay to change your intention during this, because it's very healthy as you go toward receiving and manifesting what it is that you want. Your list may change. So now you can go through and make these little changes, and you read over your list and you smile and you're so grateful because you just know that it's coming through. You tuck that list under your pillow and you sleep, and during your sleep you may even wake up a few times and just catch yourself being in a thanksgiving state. The attitude of gratitude state. And you think about your list and you fall asleep again. Well, you're setting your subconscious, because it is your subconscious that directs us. It's not these random thoughts that you've had from these dreams because you ate too much kimchi and it upset your stomach. It is a setting of the subconscious. So draw that fine line, because you're allowed to think about daily what it is that you want, and you are encouraged to do that because that's setting out that thought frequency. But here's the difference. When you are frequently saying, I'm so thankful that's coming, thank you. And then you walk away and you focus on yourself. You focus on, what is it that I need to do to bring value to what it is that I want? And then I will be ready. And like I said, sometimes your plan needs to just be that you don't have a plan, and you're waiting on God and the universe to bring it through. So you're thankful. And then you just walk away and you work on yourself. And you're going to see your mindset changing when you're thinking about eating more healthy, and you're thinking about exercise, and you're thinking about improving your life, and you think about turning off your phone. That's right, turn the phone off. You don't want to sleep with that thing. You turn the phone off or you turn it down, you turn off your notifications, you say goodnight, and then you deal with it instead of trying to look at who's texting you at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Calm your mind, settle your mind. Your subconscious is now set. Set it and forget it. So don't forget it in the way that you're not being thankful that you've received it. But forget it so you're not sitting outside that person's home and they call the cops and now you've attracted another ridiculous situation you could have very, very easily avoided. I think you're getting it. I can feel it, and I'm thankful for that. I think some of you really needed to hear this message today because it gets kind of confusing, doesn't it? But once you start practicing this and living this life, this isn't just a fad. This is a reality that you're living. You are in a thankful state so that no matter what comes your way, you can handle it because that's what you're made of. And believe me, you can handle things a lot better being in a grateful and thankful and thoughtful state than walking around the house with your 2 hands holding your temples and going, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? I can't do this, I can't do that. You wake up thanking God, Source, that you're open for anything. I'm open to make a little extra money today. Thank you for that. I just know I will. I'm open to have someone come up and be my friend today. I just know that's going to happen. I'm open because I've asked for it. And I'm thankful and I'm grateful. So don't sit and dwell on what your intention is, because the opposite is going to happen. The more you haunt someone, and I mean haunting, or a situation or a circumstance, the more off-putting that is, very much so. Sometimes people have to miss you. Sometimes you need a break till you can work on things, and maybe someone else does. Because, especially when you're trying to manifest another person, that other person may be going through something themselves that they have to deal with and they have to work on. And they would be too distracted if they were with someone right now. But that doesn't mean in the future they couldn't be. So now you know, because here's what happens. And this is the opposite. And I think I mentioned this, but I've got to. It deserves another honorable mention again. So now when you're in a state where you're frequently sending your frequency, and now you're putting the action behind it. See, that's another thing. You act as though you have already received. That doesn't mean that really good-looking guy at the grocery store that you met 3 days ago, that you think you're going to marry, that you pack your bags and you show up and stand on his front porch. It doesn't mean that. You act upon it. How do you act upon it? Well, you set your intention. Gee, I would really like to talk to him more. I'm so grateful that I'm going to have that opportunity. I am so grateful that I get to see him again at the grocery. I'm so grateful that he's interested in me. I'm so grateful that I can bring value to that circumstance, situation, and relationship. I am so thankful that I bring value to my clients. There was a time, and I have to tell you this, that I was really heavily practicing the laws of attraction. And I can tell you, I was very successful and still am at it. I would set my intentions and I would pace around the living room, and I would be doing that same thing. And I would just get so into the moment, and I bring value to my clients. I bring value to the money that they pay me. I deserve the funds that they pay me. I deserve this. I bring value to their businesses. I bring value to them. I bring value. And I would get so hyped up that I would end it by saying, and everyone wants to be me, and chuckle, because I know that that was kind of a little gag to the universe, a little funny quip, because I do believe that God smiles when we are so confident. And my son would be in his room, and I could hear him go, "Oh gosh." I want you to feel that confidence. That's why I told you that. I want you to feel so valuable that when you set your intention and now you act upon it, feel as though you have already received. That's biblical, my dears. Feel as though you have already received. And how do you feel it? Well, you have to act upon it. Well, how do you act upon it? Well, the first and foremost thing is you start giving thanks. So you now have to control yourself. Now you know there's a good side of this and there's a not so good side of this. And I encourage you to sit back, think about what it is that you are knowing, praying, and manifesting. Because you don't want to put yourself in a very hurtful position when all you're trying to do is form value for yourself. Get what you deserve. You see, we were put on this life, in this life and on this world to live. That right there is why we are here. I do not believe in reincarnation. I know, it's blowing some people's minds, but that's okay. I don't get after you for what you think, and I hope that you respect for me for what I believe. I believe that we are appointed to live this life one time. We have one shot, and that is, we are here to make him happy. We are here to please him. We are here to help gather other people into this life, into the acceptance of the word. And that's another whole subject. We're not going to go there. But you can be that shining light, and you can be that light of the world. So remember, draw that fine line. Okay, here we go. One more time. When you have that frequency that you're sending out, that's your thought process to someone else. I know that that person likes me. I know that that person wants me. I know. Good. And that person will know it soon, if they don't already. And soon things will work so you can roundabout meet each other, or you can receive that job offer, receive that promotion, get to move, get that healing that you need and want and receive and are thankful for. So you draw the fine line. You send out a thought, but you don't dwell. What does dwelling mean? Well, what else is there another word for a house? We call it a dwelling. Why? Because we live there. That's why we're telling you, don't dwell in your thoughts. Don't live in your thoughts. Don't move in. Don't unpack. Don't get comfortable in those thoughts. Because if you do, you are on a spiral, my dear, and it's very, very hard to get pulled out. So don't dwell. Don't live there. Don't be in your dwelling of thoughts. Set your intentions. And when it comes across your mind in the daytime, you could say, yeah, I'm really thankful for that situation. And then you just move on and continue looking after yourself. Focus on you. If you have that other person on that pedestal today, you better take that person off in your mind's eye and you better step up there. Because the moment that you step up on the pedestal and you start thinking and continuing to work on yourself and thankful about it, that person that you took off will recognize that. Because there comes a particular confidence when you're in the laws of attraction. You're just in the knowing. And I got to tell you that when you are really living this, I was going to say practicing, but you're living this. When you're living this, other people will want what you have. Why? Because they're going to see that things come to you and they're going to say, wow, something just popped out of nowhere and this just comes to you easily. They don't understand the work that you've put into it, but you're putting the work in for yourself. And then someday you can share with them, but not now. Now is not the time because they'll think that you're a Looney Tune and then they need to lock you up. And we don't want that. That's not productive. So now, my darlings, the frequency of frequency is you control your thought process. And if it's a negative thought process, you got to squash that guy. You got to get him right out of there. You got to change the channel on that frequency. Just imagine, if you're having a negative thought, imagine a remote in your hand and you're just going to start changing the channel on that thought process. And believe me, my darlings, it works. It truly does. Concentrate on your thoughts before you go to bed at night. Look at your list, change things around. And why do you want to write a list? Well, because this helps to set your subconscious mind. This helps to recognize what it is that you've written down and you're not losing any details. Some of you do have such good minds that you will remember it, but as you get into this, you need to start writing some things down. You need yourself a little notebook, my darlings. That may happen in the future, very soon. Keep checking back with us. Your catalog to the universe and your magnificent obsession can work hand in hand. It means that sometimes you have to put all other circumstances to the side. And I'm not talking about walking away from your family or your responsibilities. Don't even dare try to come back to me and say, but you told me to do that, Zelda. No, I'm not. I'm telling you, sometimes you have to push away that nonsense. Clear away that static. The static. You remember, if you're listening to the radio, if you get static, what do? You fine tune it. And that's what you need to do with your frequency, my loves. Because if you get on that frequency of what you want, it's not philosophy, it is physics. So I think you understand now where we're coming from. So when you write that down, and at night before you go to bed, and you're working over your list, and you're smiling, and you're happy, and you're just so into it, you're setting your subconscious mind. And I'm also going to say this during this time. Do everything you can to stay away from negative music, negative news. In fact, I'm just going to tell you, turn that trash off. You'll find out what the current events are. You don't have to keep it rolling and rolling and rolling daily so it affects you. So then there is fear or anger or whatever other emotion that's going to distract you. Turn the TV off. Turn the computer off. Turn the iPad off. Put some good music on, dance around a little bit, and get yourself back in the groove. That's sometimes what you have to do. So I'm going to leave you with this. And it's another quote from Henry David Thoreau that I love. This world is but a canvas to our imagination. So my invitation for you today is be that artist. Be that artist for the canvas so you can create, so you can draw what it is that you want to manifest to come into your lives. You are the star of your own movie. You're not an extra. So stop acting like one, right? You are the actor. You are the actress. You are the one. And everyone wants to be you. So I want to thank you so much for stopping by today in the Secrets Laws of Attraction. Again, my name is Zelda Kelly, and I'm your host. And the next time we come back, we're going to be talking about now how to put some things in motion so you can really, really start manifesting. Because I think now you've got a lot of this foundation under your belt. And I'm going to leave you with this wonderful little thought, and that is, you are the creator of your own circumstances and your own world. You have been created by the source creator, but now you are a co-creator, and you just have to make sure that you are on the right path, the right side to get in. All right, spit it out, Zelda. To get it in what you want. It seems easy, but we have been conditioned. I got to say this too. You know me, right? Okay, I got to say this too. We grow up believing that we should never think of ourselves. It's selfish. Oh my gosh. Look at that person. Doesn't she just think she's all that? Well, good. I'm glad that she does. Someone needs to think that they're all that. You need to too. You have value here. We have been conditioned to believe that we are to put someone else's circumstances and life ahead of our own. Now, I'm not talking about your spouse and your children and your family now. Come on. I'm talking about that other person that you think you're friends with, or that person that you want to date, and you lose your own mindset. You lose what it is that you want because you're trying to fit into their lives. Stop it. It's not going to work. Stop it. So I'm going to leave you now. And I'm going to say, I truly wish that you are blessed, brave, safe, and you are going to stay well. I know that you will, and I am so grateful and thankful that you tuned in today, because if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be here. So we're going to have a quick message, and then I will see you next time in the episode of Secrets, Laws of Attraction. Bye for now. Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by this episode of Secrets, Laws of Attraction. I'd like to take a minute and invite you over to our main website. That's www.psychicssecrets.com. That's www.psychicssecrets. There's 2 S's in the middle now. psychicssecrets.com. You can find Secrets, Laws of Attraction there. Also, you can find our Secrets Mystery Manor. That's really a lot of fun to listen to, and we talk about ghosts and paranormal and oddities and sometimes tragedies. But stop on over. and you can listen to that as well. There on the website, you can find our blog and the many very experienced advisors that we have. You'll see me there. I'm extension 11, and we're all glad to help you 24/7. You can chat, you can have a call, and you can even do a video call. And for first-time callers, we have a special 30 minutes for $30. And we can get a lot accomplished in 30 minutes. So stop on over, say hello, and we'll be glad to help you and give you the guidance and direction that you deserve. In the meantime, thank you again so much for stopping by Secrets, Laws of Attraction. I'm your host, Zelda Kelly, and happy manifesting. Bye for now.